Hey, what's going on? GW here live. Couple things. One, I'll talk about the writer's strike. It's still going on, but if you're a horror fanatic, I just read that Final Destination, the latest entry, is ready to go forward as soon as they're done with this strike. So that means you'll have another entry, and I'm actually pretty excited for this one because it happens to be set on a cruise ship. I myself have been on many cruise ships, and just walking around the first time that I was ever on one, your mind conjures up all this stuff about people falling off the side, maybe, getting locked in a room, just all kinds of craziness. And that's what I'm kind of looking forward to in the next Final Destination. Speaking of malfunctions on things, I just read too that Disney World, the Disney World attraction, A Small World, just broke down. And there's a video circulating online that shows a parent telling her kids, or caregiver rather, because I don't know if it's a parent, I just saw the video, telling her kids to walk into the water to get to safety. Now, I'm not a genius on this, but if a ride breaks down, don't you think you should wait for the park security to guide you out? That would be the right thing to do, considering they are trained on that matter. But there's a video, like I said, the mother or the caregiver goes ahead and tells the kid to do whatever they want, which is actually putting the kid in more danger. Now, the same thing happened yesterday. There was the tallest roller coaster in the world actually broke down, and riders had to walk down 200 some feet. I saw that on the Today Show. That's insane. I mean, and you hear more and more of these things start to happen, and it almost becomes where you don't want to do anything. And then, in the middle of all this, Disney dropped the Haunted Mansion. Now, I have been on that ride many times, and that ride is most notable, guys, because at one point, the ride simulates a ghost in your car, in the car that you ride around in. So they finally made a movie about it. And I was actually excited. I'm like, this is a PG-13. It's edgy. It's going to work. And the next thing I know, it's a big box office bomb. Why? Because it's a Halloween movie in July. Now, if you would have made this and dropped it in October, it would have been great. The bigger kids like myself, we could go see the hardcore slasher movies. The little kids could go see this. Hell, I might even have went and saw the Haunted Mansion. But because now it's tainted, because Disney decided to hit the panic button and drop it in July, it failed miserably at the box office. Speaking of other movies that have failed in the box office, it's not a very good summer, guys. The strike has delayed Ghostbusters Afterlife Part 2, which I was actually looking forward to because my man Bill Murray's in it. And I love the Ghostbusters. That is the one of the defining movies of the 80s. You ask me. Ghostbusters, Wall Street. There's a few more. But it's one of the best. And we're not going to get to see it. That's got to be delayed. The Meg 2 came out. Again, I was looking forward to it. I love the Meg 1. I like the tributes to Jaws. I like the intensity of it, and it played almost like a Jaws clone. Now in this new one, it's called Meg 2 The Trench. There's supposed to be 2 giant sharks in this, maybe more, who knows. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 0. So I know what's going to happen. I mean, this is a franchise. This was a movie, The Meg, was supposed to launch a franchise. Because if you look at the books, there's all kinds of Meg books out there. There's about maybe 6 or 7, maybe. I've read a bunch. And they're all pretty damn good. But if a movie bombs at the box office like this, the likelihood of people resurrecting it for a sequel is not really that great, guys. And then, of course, Tony Bennett died. Tony Bennett, legendary crooner. I remember I didn't know who he was, and I was watching those Italian Scorsese mafia movies, and that's how I kind of came to know Tony Bennett, and guy's a legend. You know, I woke up the other day, and MTV had on all of his videos, and they were pretty unique. The guy was a genius. Musically, he was a master. I mean, it just sucks because when somebody dies like that, your memories of them might have been in a song from The Godfather, or maybe you hear a song, you think of De Niro, and then you go, oh, that's Tony Bennett, and that's how you think of him. But very talented individual, and I don't know what else to say on that because I don't really know much of his career. What else we got? I did start watching Twisted Metal, and I got to tell you, I'm enjoying it. Twisted Metal to me is good. It's easy to take. It's in 20-minute increments, 20 to 23-minute increments. Very good. The character of Sweet Tooth is amazing, guys. He's played by two different people. One, Samoa Joe does the body, and I forget the cat that does his voice, but very convincing. And it's not done cheap or corny. It's actually done in a sort of Mad Max Road Warrior-esque style, the way that the story comes together. So you guys might want to check it out. Let's see, what else is going on. Been playing Remnant 2, and I got to give a big shout out to two people. You guys know who you are. I'm not going to reveal your real names. Green-Eyed Assassin, you my main man. Undead Vorgan, you guys rock. And these guys, for my viewers at home, these guys actually they help me out and they make a very hard game fun again. So, and they put in a lot of time and effort, and they're two good friends of mine. I just want to give them shout outs. I also want to give a lot of shout outs to all my fans. Casey, Emily, everybody is down with me. I always like to thank the fans because without the fans, you would have no video. Speaking of people, I want to prop something that's long overdue. All right, you guys remember I told you about that girl, Jackie Carson. Well, let's see. She's in Jackie Carson, Spotify Music. You guys can check her out there. That's Carson. She's on IT, Spotify, at Jackie M. Cars 12 on Twitter. You guys can check her out. 1G, Facebook. She's also on TikTok, guys. And a lot of people ask me, Greg, why don't you do TikTok? Well, my wife doesn't like it. And I don't really know the first thing about TikTok. So I stick to a format I know and I use and everything. But definitely check her out. This is a very talented individual. A lot more talented than me because all I do is come on here and talk about movies and, tell you about people that I knew in my life. But she's very talented. And she's also a very good friend. I've known her family for years and years and years, and I got to tell you, she's like the sister I never had. So, with that being said, what else do we have to talk about? We have a new Exorcist movie coming down the lane. We have the Super Mario Brothers movie premiering on Peacock. Now, no, I haven't watched these yet. What was I going to tell you? And we're counting down the days to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game. This is Gun Media, the guys that did Friday the 13th. It's a multiplayer deal. You either play a survivor as a killer, just like in Friday the 13th. They've come out and said time and time again, this game will not suffer the same fate as Friday the 13th. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm really looking forward to it. And those of you who are wondering, because I know you're looking at me and I'm talking horror movies, you guys are looking at my shirt here. Yes, that's Sherry Moon Zombie. And This says Free Baby. It was a promotional prop from the movie Three from Hell. And I got this before the movie came out. Actually, I got it at a Rob Zombie concert. So you guys can check that out. I don't know if you can find these anymore, but he was propping them before the movie even was released. So what else is there? Really, what else? There was one other thing I was going to talk about, and I don't remember what it was. Fast X is now going to be on Peacock, I think at the end of August. So you can check that out. Other than that, I really don't see anything with the strike. I mean, it's halted all the shows. It's halted all the movies that I was looking forward to reviewing. The only thing that's kind of notable is, like, someone asked me, does that affect reality shows? And my go-to answer was no, because reality shows aren't scripted. Game shows aren't scripted, like American Ninja Warrior, or The Wall. They're pretty much safe, I believe. But all your Chicago's, anything with a plot line is basically going to be dead in the water until they figure it out. I could weigh in on it. I understand why they would strike. I also understand that the better the show, the more ratings you get, the more accolades you receive, the more you should get paid. I understand that as well. I don't understand Hollywood, and I don't think anybody, even the executives at major motion picture distributors, I don't think they even understand. What I do understand is sometimes, like, take case in point with Rob Zombie. House of a Thousand Corpses was picked up by a couple of different companies and then dropped because people thought it was vile garbage, this, that, and the other thing. And it went on. Lionsgate, I believe, released it. In fact, I know they did. And it became a modest hit. The problem is that you're a director, you put out one copy of the movie. Then they want you to trim it down and mess with it. And it's only when the movie becomes a substantial hit, then they want a director's cut. They want you to put back in the things that you already cut out of it. And to be fair, if I was a director, I wouldn't cut crap out of my movies. Because once you start cutting deleted, scenes that, other people may not feel is necessary, you're also altering your own vision. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But again, I'm not, anything remotely close to being on the wheel that Hollywood revolves in. So, but I just wanted to give you a shout out, tell the people what's up. Just drop in, give you a little tidbit. There's a lot of crap going on between, between the writers and the movie studios. I can tell you that. Hopefully it gets resolved and we can somehow have a structured fall schedule. Right now we're sticking to Hulu and I'm playing video games and we're watching old reruns of Family Matters, which, interestingly enough, definitely watch that show if you can from start to finish, because you'll notice things that just are out of the ordinary. They took off the little girl that was in there, Laura's sister. They replaced Harriet in the last season. Steve Urkel was only supposed to be a side character. He ended up dominating the whole show. And some of the stories were left open-ended. I mean, like Waldo. Eddie, the big brother, his best friend, just went up and missing. They never explained it, and they hint around the fact that he's gone. It's just like in the 70s show. If you guys watched the 70s show, which I know a bunch of you guys did, check out Donna. Donna had a sister. She was only in one episode, Eric Spurger Job. You know how I know? Because she was never referenced again. Seems like the writers should have been paid more to come up with more storylines that attach. That's the other thing. These shows, when they run consecutively for years, and an old team of writers quits, and maybe a new one comes in, it things change, and sometimes not for the better. But it's wild to watch that dynamic of forgetfulness and craziness and watch it just crash. Um, One could say that's WCW Vince Russo writing, if you want to use that term. But definitely binge watch some of these shows, just like Step by Step. Cody in the show, played by Sasha Mitchell, I think his name was. Very talented actor. Got into trouble. Was given a break. Got into more trouble. Given another break. Finally pulled off the show. The show sank worse than the Titanic after that because they never replaced him. The writers just sort of threw their hands up and went, okay, we're done. So it's an even keel, but that's my take on the writer's strike and what kind of stuff it could cause. But till next time, it's GW. I want to thank, like I said, Emily. I want to thank, Casey. I want to thank, everybody is down with me, like I said, because without me, and I mean this, without you, there is no me. And people wonder why I'm humble, and I'm going to leave you with this. If you watched the Ozfest DVD or VHS, Ozzy Osbourne was interviewed on there, and he said, a lot of rock stars come to the show, and they stand up on stage and they say, you're lucky to see me. And yes, I edited that out. He said, I'm not like that. He said, I'm only the way I am because the people paid to see me. I feel the same way. I'm humble like that. I appreciate all the love, all the generosity, all the accolades, all the compliments, and all the, hey, Greg, thanks for telling me about that movie. I'm no better than anybody out on the opposite side of that screen. I just have a lot of manners, and I was raised right. And despite what I come on here and tell you guys about my parents, they're really awesome people. So they brought me up right, and that's why I'm appreciative of every fan, every friend, every comment that I ever receive from you guys. So, and I know I'm not going to be ever like Ozzy Osbourne, but I do like being informative and appreciated. Thank you.